Because the focus of this retreat is meditation, so we begin with meditation, which is put yourself in the meditative state as much as you can, naturally. In this retreat, you can interchange between sitting with eyes closed and open. Both have their own advantages. On the spiritual path, there are two main concepts that are very much interconnected, but at the same time refer to different areas of the path, very different, in fact. One is the process of awakening, or some traditions refer to it in a more simplistic manner as awakening. And second concept is meditation. And as you are probably very aware of, there is a lot of simplification and misunderstanding about these two concepts. One idea is that meditation leads to awakening. But it does not appear so. And I will explain later why. Second, another idea is that awakening is independent from meditation, and therefore one does not need to meditate. It's also perhaps not common, but we can find it in many kind of teachings. The idea that one does not have to meditate, or perhaps guidance from different teachers saying that one does not have to meditate. And it comes to understanding, deeper understanding what meditation really is and what is its purpose. Even though meditation does not lead to awakening, its goal is to deepen our realization. And furthermore, to enter the dimensions of the spiritual realization which are not accessible in ordinary daily waking consciousness. Furthermore, meditation is very important to surrender into being and into the absolute. It's not necessary for a simple awakening of consciousness, but you cannot go deeper into being without sitting meditation. It's not easy to explain, but the relationship between process of awakening and meditation is really complex because how deeply you go into meditation also depends how much you have access to your pure subjectivity, which is refers to awakening. That's why walking the spiritual path, we have to intelligently combine these two approaches so they are mutually supportive. Meditation deepens your awakening, allows further integration and energetic transformation, and awakening allows you to enter deeper meditation. The concept that meditation is necessary to deepen awakening is present in Zen, some traditions of Zen, where they say that a true zazen happens after awakening. In that sense, their approach was very practical, not saying that you do not need to sit meditation since you have awakened, not simplifying the nature of the path in such manner. But awakening itself is evolving. So it's not just being awakened and then meditating in order to deepen it or integrate, but meditation also supports your further awakening, prepares you for deeper spiritual actualization. It's very important to distinguish between awakening and meditation because many seekers confuse meditation with awakening, where they go into certain semi meditative states, assuming that they are realizing themselves, which they are not. this kind of meditation without awakening is lethargic, and it causes one to become stagnated. So many seekers meditate, live. There are monks who live in monasteries and meditate all the time, and nothing of substance changes, happens, because they are stagnated. And in particular in consciousness, because consciousness, awakening of consciousness, is the main awakening, the main realization for human beings, the most important. It's simply impossible to do it in meditation. And even if one is able to enter some deeper state in meditation, one cannot find a bridge between sitting in meditation and living in the outer world, because they are ruled by different kind of consciousness and attention. So there's this danger that meditation will lead to spiritual stagnation and suspension if one is doing it without understanding. And there is another misconception regarding what kind of meditation one is doing. That is the very deceptive idea when one is trying to clarify or being asked what kind of meditation one is doing, which is connected to different meditation techniques. Concentration on this, concentration on that, watching the mind, breathing, and countless other approaches. None of these things are meditation. Meditation is dwelling. I would have several definitions of meditation, but one of them would be it is a dwelling in the state of pure subjectivity. And on top of that dwelling in pure subjectivity, other processes are happening parallelly. Processes that are necessary for our transformation. We could also refer to meditation as a state of just being, which is similar to what they call in Zen shikantaza, just sitting. And that definition is correct, but what does it mean? What does it mean just to be? Again, it depends on your access to your pure subjectivity. You can just be in consciousness, you can be in being, you can be in your heart, you can be in your body, or you can confuse the state of just being with certain passivity. One is just sitting and doing nothing, which is again a case of suspension, which was also the danger of so-called shikantaza, that nothing was happening, people were just sitting there, still are, The idea of shikantaza is that we are not sitting in order to reach enlightenment, but rather we are manifesting our Buddha nature through the act of just sitting. And there's a truth to it, but incomplete truth. Why meditation? What's so special about meditation versus, let's say, maintaining consciousness in activity? Meditation, one of the principles of meditation is that you suspend external activities, sensory stimuli. You disconnect from the world. You are going fully inside, which means that you are internalizing fully your experience of yourself. Consciousness and attention are not divided between the inner and the outer. Everything goes inside. So as you sit in meditation, you commit yourself to non-doing, at least the external non-doing, and also not thinking. At least your goal is to minimize your involvement in the mind. One of the main senses that is being cut off is the sense of sight, which is very important channel of human activity and involvement in the outer world. We are very much visual. As we know, the primary me has two functions. One is thinking, second is seeing. And now there's nothing to see. Even if one is sitting with eyes open, like in Zen, the vision becomes defocused and gradually one is losing the sense of seeing. So it's more or less similar to having eyes closed. Furthermore, meditation brings one to a different reality, which is in between waking and sleep. Even a simple act of closing your eyes actually takes you already to this reality. How deeply you experience it, of course, it depends on how deeply you are absorbed, but you are already leaving behind the waking state. And it is in that reality between waking and sleep that we are entering the deeper dimension of self, deeper dimension of the soul as well, where a lot of transformation can happen which is simply impossible in the waking state. One of the issues with meditation is that people get disoriented because they are moving out of the waking state, they are not asleep, they don't know where they are, especially if they are not clinging to different meditation techniques. They're actually not sure about the reality they are in. They lose the sense of orientation. And one of the aspects of mastering the art of meditation is to acquire the inner sight in meditation, to acquire complete clarity and sense of orientation in that new reality. Because it is a reality. It's not just a meditative state where you feel more quiet, more calm, or some absorption. It is reality in its own right. And we'll explore it in this retreat from different angles. And I would like you now, before we end this meditation, to, as you sit, to have that clear intention to enter state of meditation and to feel what does it actually mean and what is the difference between you surrendering to that state of meditation that you, irrespectively of how much you grasp it, and let's say being in pure consciousness with eyes open in your ordinary day-to-day scenario. And I'm not even saying that you need to be the difference between being in the state of meditation and being busy in the world, but the difference between being in state of meditation and sitting somewhere on a chair and looking at trees, that you are not really busy, but you are not entirely internalized. Try to feel the difference.